What's up? Welcome to a new episode of Movie Schmovie. This is episode number 487. My name's Steve, one of the co-hosts of the show, and as always, I'm joined by
Right.
If I don't come back and you get cornered, you might not want to get taken alive. Your call. And I'm John. Judge John.
Judge John. Jonn.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, how's it going, guys? It's been a delay here. We skipped a week. You guys doing all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always really feel it when we skip a week. Not like the week we skip almost always turns out to be such a clusterfuck for me that I think I told you guys this. It almost turns out to be like, oh, I'm so glad we skipped this week because I just suddenly had all this shit happen. Like, But the week after, when we're about to record, I start to get this kind of like gasping for water in the desert feeling of like, oh my God, I haven't talked to Ronald and Steve about some bullshit in almost 2 weeks. I start to go into withdrawals. So.
No, me, I have a different emotion. I feel it deep down in my plums.
What is that? What is that feeling? Is it like a depleted feeling?
Yes, it's filling with blood and love and all kinds of. I feel it deep down in my plums.
Sounds like you're having a much more soulful feeling than the one that I have.
You sound like I just watched like part of the most recent Euphoria episode. You sound like Alamo. I don't know if you watched it.
I was about to say.
I keep hearing about this guy, man. I need to watch.
You sound like Alamo.
Isn't he played by Wait, who plays Alamo? I know certain people are. I know Coleman Domingo's on there sometimes.
No, it's not Coleman.
Okay,
I don't know.
He's an HBO recycle. He's from
Yeah, I've seen him in a bunch of other
He's
stuff.
from the prison show, man.
Yes.
Adewale. Yes.
Ikenoye.
Okay.
Agbaye.
All right.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, he was in Oz.
Yeah, Oz. The comedian Drewski just did a sketch about this, about black British men playing Americans. It's like when I was getting into this role, and they'll show the clip. It's like, you gotta shut the fuck up! I'll shoot you with this gun. It's so funny, man.
It shouldn't be surprising. I think what's funny about it, I guess, is that it's got that added element. Because I remember when Idris Elba threw me for a loop. After watching The Wire, a couple seasons of The Wire, and then I saw him sitting there with his little, British accent. But I've gotten to where it's more. I mean, it's more of a thing sometimes where I go, oh, are there just no good American actors? Like, when you see like a behind the scenes thing on a show you like, and it's like so many people are British that or Australian. There's a lot of people that, and it just makes me go, wait a minute. If I were watching Australian television, would there be a bunch of Americans that are like secretly American doing Australian accents? I don't know if it's the case. I do wonder. Are we, Are our coffers of really great actors feeling as depleted as Ronald's plums? Is the question.
It's funny though. When there are some good American staples like Giancarlo Esposito, and when I hear him speak, there's like a timelessness to his voice.
Yeah.
When he's in interviews, I'm like, what? Where is he from? But then he's like Italian and black, and his lineage is quite interesting. But there's like even the Americans have really distinct, like they don't sound like Americans.
Ronald, you've got to watch out for that guy though. He will kill your infant daughter.
Why did he throw that infant in it? That line always kills me, man. Holy shit.
And we find out later, we feel slightly like he's of all the psychotic murderous drug dealers, he's the more cultured like intelligent one, like we don't mind him as much as some of the really bad guys.
Yeah. He's also walked towards snipers in a desert and bullets
Yeah.
hitting, going right past him, whizzing past him. That was such a cool scene.
So what's the baddest ass Gus Fring move? I always rank up there highly for me the poisoning everybody and yourself.
Yeah.
To kill everybody, like getting everybody was drinking the tequila that he brought, and he drank some too, but like killed everybody else and just, I guess, took the antidote for himself in time. But like the idea, I've always loved that idea of like the way through a poisoning scenario is to be like, well, I'll poison myself to death as well, but I'll just have the antidote.
Because I can't fake being poisoned. Like there's no. Right. He's like, I don't have the acting chops to fake the poison, but I do have the acting chops to give you the poison and not act like I'm poisoning you.
And so I'm also in a situation where it's important enough to me that I really would like to kill all of you. And so I don't mind this little added danger to myself that I'm throwing into the plane.
Yeah. It's craziness. Any news? Any movie news?
Movie news.
Let's talk about some goddamn movie news.
Got the
Voltron.
Cutest little movie news.
What about, how do you guys feel about the Voltron news?
I think it's I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that movie. We haven't seen like a frame from it, right? Like we don't know anything about it.
It's significant just because of I guess the amount of money
right
that it costs. I mean, for those unaware, Amazon has made two big nostalgia movies that are trying to get at millennials and Gen Zers. Gen X? I'd say Gen X. Sorry, Gen X. Gen Xers and millennials. He-Man being the one that's coming out the soonest in the next couple weeks. And the projections aren't doing very well for that. Right. As reported in a couple of the movie periodicals. And then an announcement very shortly after that Voltron, a movie based on the franchise from when we were kids, cartoon, Voltron has moved straight to VOD.
What do you go, Lion? You go Lion, or do you go like vehicle? Which Voltron do you like? The Lions or the vehicles?
I like vehicles.
Well, I like Lion.
You like the Lion?
I think I like Lion, but I don't know some of the other particulars. I don't know. Maybe if I saw them, I haven't watched Voltron in 30 years. So, gosh, no. Oh shit, like 37 years. So, it's been a long enough time that I may have forgotten some of the finer points of what the differences are. But I always just thought that the Lion idea seemed cooler than a bunch of vehicles. So, Steve, do you have a preference?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Which Voltron do you prefer, the Lion Voltron or the vehicle Voltron?
Probably the. I guess the Lion, yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm the outlier here.
I don't know, actually. I mean,
I don't know why I said it like that.
It'd be funny if you were really sad about it. Well, Ronald loses again, I guess. I guess I'll go kick rocks.
Yeah, I'll go with the Lion. But it is an interesting thing, only because, kind of to your point, I think there is this thing happening with certain IP that they think they just want to, that they are mining, that are, Gen X, even millennial aged, people that they think is still relevant or that they think there's a market for. And then, some of the stuff, even like, I was reading an article about the Master of the Universe one, and they were interesting because, like, I think a part of the motivation was that there have been like cartoons that have come out that I wasn't really even aware of. Maybe even a Netflix cartoon or something that was relating to He-Man, Masters of the Universe in the past 5 to 10 years that apparently has been pretty popular. But, I think that they're kind of, it's kind of shaking out that like not everything, well, it's kind of like a cliche, like needs to be rebooted or whatever, but that some of these properties that they think, that are going to do better than they actually are doing, whether it's tracking or just like an audience that's been kind of trained to just stay at home and wait for it for certain types of things, for certain types of properties. But I mean, that's an interesting one for Voltron because there's a lot of things like this that are kind of out there going and in process right now. It's a joke. Like the Henry Cavill stuff is kind of becoming a bit of a joke, but even like them rebooting Highlander and you mentioned the Voltron stuff. It's just like I think the confidence is too high in some of it. Even Mortal Kombat, which came out last week. Mortal Kombat was like one of the pandemic films, one of the straight to, HBO Max in theaters and everything. It was one of those titles and it did really well on the platform. And this sequel kind of, definitely broke out and outperformed the first one, but clearly that was due to COVID. But, even the number that Mortal Kombat did is still, I think, not, especially globally, not the number that they were hoping for it to be. Mortal Kombat 2 specifically, sorry. It did really well, but I mean, I think globally it still was beat by the second week of Devil Wears Prada 2, more of a modern property. And some of those more modern, long waiting sequels have done really well. And some of these kind of reboots, sequels, requels, whatever, to these, like even the Transformers cartoon that came out a couple years ago, that Chris, like the prequel one that Chris Hemsworth voiced, like that bombed. Like a lot of those 80s, it feels like a lot of these 80s things just are not, catching on or hitting the audience that they, I guess that their market research told them that it would. Excuse me.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I the Masters of the Universe thing is kind of interesting because, I mean, I look at the standee in the lobby of the theater when I see it, and it's like, it seems like, who is this for? Because right. Like and even my son who's 18, I commented when we were at the movie theater today. I said, when you were 8 years old, just based on like watching a trailer and like, oh, it's fun to go to the movies, I probably would have had you so excited to go see that. Like, just, you would have been jazzed about it. And he said, yeah. But he said, it's kind of funny because it seems like such a thing from the past.
Right.
But it's clearly being marketed at kids. And he kind of chuckled about it. Like, good luck with that. Like, good luck getting like kids today invested in something that feels like it belongs to your uncle. Or right. Even maybe your grandfather at this point, So it is pretty crazy that it's like when I look at that and I see Idris Elba standing there in like what looks like an action figure costume. It's just it's wild. It feels almost like a throwback. And that might be part of the charm of the thing, that it's like a little bit of a sincere throwback to a like, kids movies of a previous era, but that feels like a tonal risk because who is that for? Like, because there will be certain people our age that are invested in this, but it does feel kind of like a kid's movie. And then if you're a kid and you're interested, I don't know, I mean, maybe a kid would see this movie and it's got enough just to start you on the ground floor and there you go. But it's hard for me to figure out how, like, even when they did that Masters of the Universe cartoon on Netflix, isn't that who had that a few years ago? That felt like it was for the people who had grown up with this, not necessarily like a real refreshing of this. This movie feels like an attempt to make it into a modern, 4-quadrant franchise. And I just don't see it outside of a little flurry of excitement I saw in some people when the trailer came out. I have not seen any real growing hype or any real sense of this being on the horizon. So it is true, Steve, like that what you're saying, that like, it's one more thing that's like, oh, this model just might not work anymore. This model might be dying out, of just taking something that people remember from their childhoods. Maybe it's the demographic that it's aimed at, but maybe it's also just the kind of IP that this is, that it's like you're going to have to look in other places for the stuff that's really going to hook the kind of young audiences that they're trying to hook with this kind of movie.
I'm wondering, so this is a weird one because I don't even think they're even referencing the Netflix one. So Amazon used to have one in 2002, which is to a lot of people, besides the first iteration, one of the better iterations of He-Man. And then they had like a weird one that was like Goofy. They had like one that was like poorly drawn. You remember that one?
Was that not Thundercats that did that?
Or maybe that was Thundercats.
See, I felt like that was. I didn't think so much it was poorly drawn, so much as it was like, if you liked the style of the earlier Thundercats, this new version was not even in the same style.
It wasn't for you, yeah.
But it was almost like Teen Titans Go. Was that the name of that one? That show?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It was almost like that in the not quite, but it was almost like that in the sense of really cartoonizing the characters.
Yeah.
It didn't have any of the badassness of the original, but I kind of liked the cartoony designs of the Thundercats. But I'm a guy who precisely looked at 2 drawings and watched nothing, so I have no no basis for an opinion.
But yeah, the 2002 He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is really, really a good show. If you guys want to go back and look at something cool, and it's free on Amazon if you have it. And I think that's maybe why they chose to do it. It must have had, I mean, every once in a while I'll look in the cartoon section and see, oh, okay, people are still watching this Amazon show from 2002. So I'll see it on the list every once in a while. So I'm like, I wonder if they were like, people watching that. Let's dump $90 million into this and see what we can do.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very strange.
But yeah, as for the Cavill part of it, where he can't seem to catch a break,
Poor guy, man.
It's just, yeah, poor guy, poor Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the plight of the handsome man. You know, It's like,
well, that's why people say poor Henry Cavill is because it's like, how can someone this handsome have such a hard time getting like something off the ground?
I think he needs to try to find something that's like a little less him centric. And maybe work his way to that. I mean, no offense to him. I think that what makes him so special is he could star in something, yes. But I mean, I remember him like crazy from Mission Impossible.
I was going to say he needs to go to the bathroom and cock his arms,
and punch the shit out of somebody,
and then get right back to it.
Yeah.
I think that I think it's just that in the modern era, he might be the one that we think of that way, because I feel like there's different actors you can think of who have that sort of like, oh, in a different world they would have been they would have had this cachet. I mean, he's clearly, I mean, the reason I was chuckling at saying poor him is because he's been in huge movies and he's had a few times at bat, so he's doing great. But it does seem like, oh, he's likable, he's good, he's super handsome. It is a little strange when someone like that doesn't have yet that like whatever that cachet is that it seems like he would have as far as a box office draw. But of course, I say this in the age where we're commenting left and right that stars don't have the pull that they used to have in terms of like, oh, I want to go see the new Henry Cavill movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't seem to happen as much.
He's also not that old. He's only 43. So like, he could get into a different lane. Like, he could get into the older inspector that still kicks ass thing. The thing is, Henry Cavill is going to look like he kicks ass for the next 15, 20 years. Am I right? I mean, I feel like he's always going to have this thing to him. Like, he has this toughness to him that doesn't seem too overbearing, like something about him. I kind of like that about him.
Isn't he also like a big nerd in life and like a gamer and stuff too?
Yeah.
So yeah. That warms me up to somebody to know that they're a big nerd.
Yeah, like Warhammer, I think is his big thing.
Yeah.
But if you're listening, Henry, we're wishing you all the luck in the world, and we do to all Cavills everywhere. Well, so yeah, I guess we could get into required viewing here then, unless anybody has any other news or some such. Yeah, so required viewing. Oh wait, did I accidentally stop something? No. Okay, good. Required viewing. This time I picked the movie Dredd from 2012, which is directed by Pete Travis from a screenplay by Alex Garland, who supposedly had a pretty heavy hand in the directing of this. Karl Urban has said as much as that he feels that this should be considered Alex Garland's directorial debut. Wow. It's hard to tell how much it's like Alex Garland and Pete Travis talk about it like they had an unusual arrangement, but Alex Garland did not want a co-directing credit. But they had Alex Garland, for a screenwriter, had a really heavy hand on the set of this film, and the actors would look to him for direction and things like that. So
that's wild.
But they make it sound like that was an agreement. It doesn't really sound like that when Karl Urban says this should be considered an Alex Garland movie. It's a little bit like Pete Travis maybe lost control of it. It reminds me of the Poltergeist situation with Tobe Hooper and Steven Spielberg, where you'll hear differing things about whether Tobe Hooper actually directed that or if Steven Spielberg really was more or less taking control.
Yeah.
So, I don't know much more than that about the production of it, but this is a film that is based on the same property that produced the film Judge Dredd, the Sylvester Stallone movie from years before, 1995, I think. And it's based on a comic book that started in the 70s. Kind of a fun thing I found out in the comic book, the future that is always set, it was always set 122 years from the date. Like it was set in 2099 when the comic came out in 1977. And the idea was it's always rolling so that every year it's like he ages. So the character of Judge Dredd is now 86, but has had like rejuvenation processes done to him. So he's able to be like still vital and stuff.
Oh, wow.
That's
But
cool.
it's like an interesting idea that now the comic is still taking place 122 years from today, 2026.
Sure.
And it's like the fact that the comic has been around that long is kind of crazy, but also the fact that like, and I don't know, if you'll find it more and more, guys, that things from your childhood suddenly have years like 40 and 50 attached to them. And you're like, oh wow, it's weird that that's been around that long. I always compare it to the Beatles, who were releasing records for a span of like 8 years, and then you get things now that have been around for 30, 40, 50 years and keep going. It's pretty crazy that pop culture, like we've gotten to the point where now we maintain things for that long. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that Judge Dredd has been around that long. I knew it was around from the 70s, but I hadn't done the math that it was still running, and there are still people, creating Judge Dredd content and stuff. But it's basically just a vaguely dystopian future. I didn't know they didn't say a year in the movie, I don't think, but it feels right to say that's about 120 years in the future. I mean, that seems about right for the kind of world that it is. In the comics, there's like aliens and robots, and you don't really get a sense of that in the movie. There are mutants with superpowers, so that is a little something extra. But it's just a dystopian future, and the premise sounds really simple because it's like, oh, and there are these judges, which are essentially, instead of the police, we have what we call judges, and they are able to basically try and execute a person on the spot if they feel that it's necessary, but they're also able to bring people in, and they're still doing things like interrogating people, so they're still doing some kind of investigations. It's not just a world where the judges are supposed to roll up and kill everybody. It seems like it's that they have the option of killing everybody, which is very much like our world. I mean, it definitely feels like, in the comic especially, it was a satire of kind of, American and British police state practices, and I think you feel a little bit of that in the movie, but it doesn't really hit the satirical side, the social commentary, as much as just give us a kind of raid-like scenario where they're trapped in a high-rise building, and they have to go to varying levels of the building to avoid or to take on these forces that have trapped them there. And the concept is simple enough. They have captured somebody who the Mama, which felt very Mad Max to me. This crazy villain with like a stupid name and a bunch of henchmen. But Lena Headey is a drug dealer who has taken over this building. And when the judges are there and have captured one of her lieutenants, who's a murderous psycho, and they're about to take him in to interrogate him, she doesn't want him spilling what he knows, and so they pull some shenanigans to lock the building down, and the judges are now in the building, trapped with a bunch of people who are going to try to kill them. It's a pretty simple concept. It's got a little bit of that John Wick, everybody's trying to kill you kind of thing. It's got that raid thing of going through the building and being outnumbered in that sense. It's got a little bit of, if you watch Punisher: One Last Kill this week, that also has I've sent all the goons in the world after you, kind of thing going. This is crime world. So, I feel like it ticked all those boxes. I had not seen this movie before. I was glad to check it out because I'm on a little bit of a Karl Urban kick from watching The Boys. I don't know. I guess I'll throw this to one of you. You guys had both seen this before. Ronald, was this a fun rewatch for you? And did you watch it? Did you watch it with like good sound and a nice big screen?
I did. I'm saying farewell to my space. This is like probably the last time I'm going to be recording here. So, I had the loudspeakers, I had the subs, and I watched them relentlessly murder innocent people. It was a crazy movie. I remember this being like I was like, damn, they're really judging people right there. Some good old fashioned Judge Dredd justice, just murdering. But man, this drug that's on the loose that slows everything. It's that slow-mo that slows things down. Also was one of the coolest things that I'd seen in a movie, kind of a heightened movie like this. There also was some Sin City feel to it, like this kind of heightened. All the villains were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kick his ass," all like kind of like that.
But I would say the one thing about this movie that's kind of interesting, Ronald, is that you just like, I think it was more like they were like, yeah, we're gonna kick his ass. Yeah, everybody's a little bit downplayed in this movie. Like even Karl Urban is kind of underplaying. Like he's not playing the character like this.
Yeah,
he's playing kind of like this.
Right.
He's doing a kind of mild voice. And Lena Headey seems kind of. I wondered if that was a conscious choice to make everybody seem a little underplayed for this type of thing. Because it had an interesting tone because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you said it was a fun rewatch.
A fun rewatch. It's super violent. It just feels like, every once in a while you just like to see movies where there's a lot of chaos. That's heightened enough that it feels slightly different from our reality.
Yeah.
Even though like it seems to be lining up a little more than I'd like it to be.
Right.
But for real, like, there are elements that just they wouldn't have like a gun to chop a building in half. Like, but that you don't know nowadays. Like, every once in a while they'll go to a place, they're like, this person has army guns. This army guns in this place, But the way
they're not afraid to use it on civilians and like tear a hole in the side of the building.
Tear a hole in the side of the building like it was nothing.
That's gonna have to. There we go.
I really enjoyed this dynamic. Like, for something about it, she didn't feel as
Olivia
helpless
Thirlby.
Yeah, she didn't feel as helpless
I like her.
as. Yeah, they did a good job of making her feel like a kind of a deer in headlights that didn't feel so helpless. Like when she needed to, she really did some cool shit. Like, the mind reading scenes and stuff like that, where she's in one of the villains' heads playing around, and he tries to do some disgusting stuff, and she's like, okay, you want to do this nasty shit? She makes it weirder for him than it was weirder for her. I really enjoyed that stuff. And the action was nonstop, It's cool to see some of those people in the roles that they were in, like Gleason, one of the Gleasons.
Donald Gleason.
Yeah, Donald, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'd say it differently every time.
So is he supposed to be albino? I was trying to figure out if he was very pale and his eyes were very like twitchy.
I think it was more like he's just been inside staring at screens so long.
For so long.
But something had happened to his eyes, because we saw in the visions he was having, there was something with his eyes being fucked up. But yeah, he was good. And he was doing twitchy, vaguely American voice too.
Yeah. Pretty damn cool. Overall, I enjoyed it.
Steve, what about you?
Yeah, no, I just think this movie is a ton of fun. I mean, I think that I think just recency, like the Karl Urbanness is kind of in the air right now with like Mortal Kombat and the final seasons of The Boys. So like watching this again was just like another reason, a reminder. Like I really like him a lot. Like I genuinely think he's a lot of fun to watch and a good actor. I think that he's really fun in this movie. That like the kind of the dark humor that he really is just good at no matter what he does. I think he's really great in general with that kind of stuff. But in this movie, I think that kind of plays really well. I also just felt like I love how violent it is. I like how violent it
Yeah.
is. I think the special effects are really good. And just the humor that it really kind of sticks with at times when you wouldn't expect it. I think just kind of keeps it nice and balanced for the kind of movie that it feels like. You mentioned things like The Raid and things like that, and it definitely feels like that. And I think it really kind of works so well because of him. But yeah, like Lena Headey's great. Olivia Thirlby is great. I mean, Wood Harris is in it. Like he's really good. Um, I don't know. It's just like a really. I remember really liking this movie. I haven't watched it in a while. But I just everything I remembered about it was just kind of confirmed on the rewatch, which was him, the cast, the violence, kind of a little bit of humor in it, and then it just like looks good. I felt like for
Yeah.
the budget that the movie was, I think the budget was only 30 to 40 million dollars. Like I
Yeah.
think it looks really good
Right.
for
No, I think
a
that
budget of that.
No, I think it's an interesting spot that it's hitting, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like it is low budget and it does feel almost like something you would have watched on USA or something when you were a kid.
Right.
But like the fact that it's that ambitious with what it does with that is such a like there we say it too often maybe. There's just a certain kind of movie you don't
Right.
see as much of anymore. And this is like somebody with 30 to 40 million pretending they have 150 million, like,
Right. No,
and so there
totally.
are some rough edges to it, and there's some scenes where maybe it's even, they go for a heightened, the Sin City-ness of it all, the slightly artificial world. They use that as a stylistic point. But there's also, you both alluded to the effects in it, that, the visualization of the slow-mo is like, I mean, it looks like effects, but it looks really cool. And it looks like, I read where Alex Garland said that there was an effort made to like, there was a question they were trying to say like, can we make the violence beautiful? Like, and there are some moments of horrible violence that do sort of happen as though you're seeing something that's being animated to be beautiful. Like there's a moment where someone like a guy gets shot in the cheek and it's played in that slow-mo. And it's like, you're staring at, you're not like repulsed and looking away. You're like looking at it and it's happening in super slow-mo. I think there is something kind of balletic about that kind of violence. And even at the end where suddenly she's falling to her death and like we are the point of view of the pavement, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it fills with blood. It does it in this like, I don't know. When I heard that quote about trying to make the violence, he said it almost like abstract. They wanted it to be like beautiful. They were just wondering, could we do it? Can we make it to where it's like beautiful to look at instead of horrible to look at? And
Right.
I think you can see the scenes where they tried to do that. So yeah, I think that it's cool that it has a visual idea. There are moments where you have to get past the silliness of the judge helmets and just the way they look. And I think Karl Urban is exactly the guy who can just like throw himself into that and like make you believe that, oh, this is bad. This isn't silly. This is badass. It's like someone dressed up as Batman. So you have to be the right kind of person to wear the Batman cowl and walk into a room and not seem like a complete weirdo. And I feel like, I still say, like, I was surprised at how like soft this performance was. It's almost like a not obvious way to take this character. There's almost like a tenderness to him that really does, come out in his relationship with the rookie that he's training. And that's a pretty standard arc, that she's the rookie and, he gains respect for her over the day. But I did like their little character beats together. And I like that his arc is not really like a huge character arc, but it's just like a little bit of a softening towards her. The way that him giving her a pass at the end shows that he's learned to bend a little bit,
Right.
So he's not this rigid, cold asshole character that he could easily be and still be fun to watch. There's a little bit of a tenderness there. He's actually even sweeter natured than Billy Butcher, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens next week. Yeah, but also this did not make back its budget quite. If at the top end of that projected budget, Steve, is what, like 45 million, and it made 41.5 million. So it's like whatever thought they might have had that they had a little franchise starter here, obviously it was not successful enough to warrant that. So
it's too bad.
trying to think if there's anything else interesting about this. I know that there's been talk of them doing another Dredd, another take on Dredd. Isn't Taika Waititi attached, or is that already?
Oh wow! Nah, I didn't even hear about that.
I think there was talk of it.
I believe it. I believe you, John.
Don't call me a liar. Is attached to direct a new feature film adaptation of Judge Dredd. It emerged in 2025, and yeah, it's a hot package in Hollywood, aiming to launch a universe. That's the reason I thought to bring it up, is because I do feel like there's room to do this thing, and especially like knowing that they've never had a version that really brought in the more sci-fi elements that the comic has in it. Like I said, aliens and robots and stuff. I could see Taika doing that, and I could actually see him leaning into the satirical side of it too, which is really present in the comics.
Well, I'd buy that for $1.
Well, you know, I did you not think about RoboCop a little bit watching this?
I did. Yeah. I really did, man. So this thing is something about it. It just, I mean, it was the right. You call it a cowl? The helmet.
It's just a helmet, yeah. But it's also like the attitude, the sort of like hard ass attitude, and the violent. Like RoboCop's got some graphic violence in it too.
Yeah, for sure.
I like movies like this that can hit that kind of schlocky button though, like, and make it fun and make it stylish. And again, it's like the fact that it's not that expensive of a movie it buys it a lot of charm in my sense. You know, like I can watch a movie like that and see all the ways that they like reused like the sets in this of the different floors and the different hallways. You can tell they're reusing stuff and like probably being really clever with how they shoot things to get more mileage out of what they've got. I don't know. I always admired that kind of spirit. I suppose we'll wait for Steve to get back for you to name what the next required viewing is, because you're next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have a good pick?
Yeah, it's new. I don't know how anybody's going to feel about it, but, you know.
All right, well
we shall see. We shall see. I said it like, we shall see. We shall see.
We shall see. So I'm just going to go ahead and let the listeners and viewers know that let's go ahead and Ronald and agree. We're not editing this part out. We're just going to vamp until Steve comes back.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to have to edit out.
I like it.
Just come to the agreement. Although I can switch to the proper graphic since the next part is you talking about your pick. I'll go ahead and get Cowboy Iguana out here. Or that's not iguana. That's a bearded dragon, I believe.
Hey, iguana. Iguana.
So anything you want to talk about? What's your favorite snack to eat while watching a movie right now, Ronald?
That's a good question. Man, it's crazy. I have some pork rinds upstairs, and I haven't eaten those in a really long time. Super strange. I don't know what this is. When my stomach is feeling weird, I get some Swedish fish. Oh. They calm my stomach. I don't know if it's like the whatever beeswax or whatever they use in it, because it doesn't use gelatin in it. But yeah, something about it calms my stomach. I can't quite figure out. I think I found that out by mistake. Like, I think I just wasn't feeling well one day, and I was just near some. And
you kind of snacked on them, like, I gotta get something in me.
Yeah. It was like one of those things where hadn't eaten because my stomach was feeling weird, and it was like a combination of a stomach ache and then hunger pains at the same time. And I ate one. I was like, what is this doing to my stomach? It just felt calm. And so every once in a while, when I'm watching a movie, I will summons a bag of Swedish fish. What about you? What's your go-to?
I'm thinking about, like, it's going to sound stupid to say this, but like for years, I was not a big popcorn buyer, when I would go to the movies. But I've become back. I've really fallen.
You come back. Yeah.
I've fallen just fully into a nice big bucket of popcorn recently. So like,
you got me into something. What? You got me into something. It's your fault. Ices, man.
Oh.
I was never into ices. Like when I was a kid, I was. But I was thinking like, I always see you get these. Why? What's the big damn deal? And as long as you have Coke in it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everything tastes incredible. Coke is the base. Add anything else to it. It's so damn good.
Yeah, and it's like see, for me, I know that there's a chance I might get bored is the wrong word for it, but that's like what it's like. If I'm watching a movie and I wish I had a drink or a snack, I'm like, I just don't want to be sitting there watching the movie thinking about that. And so, an icy is like, I had an icy today at the movies, and it was
it's refreshing.
It's not like I have an icy all the time. So it's like, I feel like I'm still well within my rights to enjoy my icy. But if I ever get to the point where you see me ordering a small icy or something, you know that it's probably doctor's orders or something that I'm I'll be like, can you get me a courtesy cup of icy? I just need to smell it.
Yeah.
But no. What flavor? Well, you say you do Coke with, but what do you like to add to Coke? What are your favorites?
So I've been going to the Regal and Frederick to see. I've been seeing 40X stuff. So they have. Well, they used to have Coke. They haven't had Coke lately. But I'll normally do Coke in a blueberry flavor.
Oh yeah,
or Coke in they did have like a lemony flavor too. I don't want to try that, but yeah, those are typically Coke and something else, and it just makes everything taste great. Yeah.
Where did I go where they had it was like Buc-ee's, where they had a Dr. Pepper icy. That was pretty good.
We talk about Buc-ee's for a second.
That was dangerous. Yeah.
Hold on. What's the context? Where were you? Where'd you?
We were. I'm not sure which state we were in. We were driving back. Surely we were driving back from visiting family down south.
Okay.
So we were coming back. I don't know what long.
Did you hit Virginia? Because there's a couple. There's one that just opened up in Virginia.
I think it might have been one that is recently opened because it seems like it was on our route.
Okay.
And it was therefore new because they didn't used to be. There's been a few Buc-ee's opening up. Buc-ee's is getting its name out there. People are people really always is. And people feel like, okay, I got to check this out. And the reason why you feel like you got to check it out is because they really do have a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
And it's, from what I could tell of our sampling, it's decent enough that you would be like, oh, I got to go back and try the burrito or whatever. You know, it's like
the brisket sandwich alone, I would drive 2 hours for. Like, it's just.
I think I might have had some barbecue at one. I can't remember because we went to one. I think we went to two.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think I must have gotten some barbecue at one of them. So
yeah, the brisket is it's solid. The flavor is really good. The meat's tender. The bun is nice and soft. And then don't get me started on the goddamn what's it? Not cheese. God, they have the candy. They have the what do you call it? They have the candy over on the side and they slice it for you. And they put it in little squares. They make the candy there.
What kind of candy? I mean, I think I did see that.
I can't fudge. It's fudge.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. Sounds like you're describing fudge.
But, the weird part about calling it fudge is that it's not. They have so many flavors there.
Right. Like, but it's like fudge style the way they make it.
Yeah. They call it fudge, but it's like I'm eating like a butter pecan flavor with no chocolate flavor in it at all, or like a blueberry pie flavor. Their fudge is incredible. So if you haven't tried some of that, I still didn't try the little things that everybody says they try, the little Bucky
waffle nuggets or something, whatever.
The little beaver nuggets.
Yeah.
I haven't tried those yet. I did secure some coffee. It was very good. But you're right. There's something there for everybody, and it's funny how like there's like there's like a liberal section, and then you're like, oh, there's Trump shit in the corner. It's like they really do. You can tell that somebody was like maybe a Trumper, and they were like, well, the liberals got to have their section too. Just give them a section that they can have. It's like, it's like cool shit there. Like, not my queer kid, but it's like close. There's like weird stuff that's like a little more accepting than you would think, and then it gets super like Trumpy in one of the sections.
Yeah, you just kind of, if you're there for the beaver nuggets or the fudge or the burrito or the brisket or the Dr. Pepper icy, you're just going to walk past all that stuff. You're like, I don't want to think about the political affiliation of the Buc-ee's family. I'm just going to go over here and get a choice of snacks.
And then they change the styles of the T-shirts all the time. So you get the main one, but then they'll like switch it up seasonally. So yeah, that place is, it's dynamite. It's one of those places that I love.
So Steve, we decided we did not want to give ourselves something to have to edit out of the episode. So when you left, we had to find something to talk about. So we talked about snacks.
We talked about snacks.
So do you have a favorite snack that for watching movies these days? Do you have something you go to? Anything? It can even be the same old, same old. It doesn't have to be exciting. I said popcorn.
I mean, yeah, popcorn's fun. I'm not even like really a candy guy. Like a lot of candy, like just straight up like sugar candy.
Yeah.
Normally, but I feel like recently I've definitely been gravitating towards a lot of sugary stuff.
Dabbling and dabbling in the.
Yeah, I guess because my kids are like sugar fiends, which is a problem.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I just dude, just I definitely find myself getting a box of candy in my hand and just, oh wow, I just ate the whole box.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oop.
Well, you're not gonna half-ass it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna not finish it. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So you just have a box that says candy on it, or is it any particular?
I get it. It's a generic. I get it at the Dollar Tree. Yeah.
Sugared candy.
Sugar.
All right. Well, the bearded dragon of the West is up behind me, so that means it's time for somebody to pick. Ronald, what is your next required viewing pick?
I believe that back in ye old day, back when they were doing plays in squares, they referred to this as a Ramachis Comicus.
Oh.
And I've chosen You, Me, and Tuscany. I've been hearing that this is a pretty decent movie with The Little Mermaids, Halle Bailey, and Regé-Jean Page from the Netflix show Sex in the Olden Times. What is that show called? Regé-Jean.
Oh, what is the name of that show? Yeah,
Bridgerton.
Sex in the Olden Times. I like that name better.
It's funny. He left and then didn't. I thought he was going to blow up after he left, and he's like, I'm going to leave Bridgerton. I have so much more to. Boy, bring your ass back to Bridgerton. That's what you need to do. Bring your ass back to But yeah, You, Me, and Tuscany is supposed to be a cutesy rom-com that I'm interested in. And it is on PVOD right now. Mm-hmm. Or depending on where you are, it is accessible other places as well, which is really cool. But You, Me, and Tuscany, video on demand.
It's got I'm looking at it's got Nia Vardalos in it. So it's like, is that like a benediction from somebody? I wonder if that's going to be a meta, since this is like a rom-com. It's Tuscany, it's not Greece, but it's still, it's adjacent.
That's interesting.
It's on the Mediterranean.
It's interesting. What if this is like a
universe expansion?
Yes, a backdoor pilot for Yeah, so I'm sorry, man. I had to pick a cutesy movie. I wanted to see something.
No, I mean,
Something like this, yeah.
This might be the cutesiest movie that we've ever had, isn't it? Perhaps. I mean, like, it's like, it makes me realize we don't do that very often. This will be nice and like warm and romantic. Look at those handsome people on the poster. I can tell from the poster, it's like maybe they're getting along, maybe they're not. We're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see.
I bet they get along.
They're for sure going to talk against some walls for sure. They're going to be on opposite sides of a room talking against the wall. Right. And then talking through a door.
You know what I'm talking about? Oh, they have to talk through a door. Yeah. There has to be a part where someone's not going to open the door for someone, and then the person on the other side of the door says the right thing, and then the door opens. Yeah. You know, there has to be a moment like that for sure. No, but these are pretty people in a pretty place, and if I know a Ramacus Comicus, then it's probably going to get pretty steamy between these two.
Ooh. Clock the tea, girl, as they say on the internet, which makes me very uncomfortable.
So many things that are said on the internet make me uncomfortable.
Yeah, how come there's this universal language that is so weird sounding? It's like, oh, yes. I clocked when she said that. It's like, what is happening right now?
You mean the way that like everybody will suddenly start adopting the same?
Yes. Like gay men slang. Yeah. It starts
think of
in
it
the
as
gay queer community and then kind of works its way down to.
I would even say specifically queer black people.
Yes, yes.
They're inventing all of our slang. They're off busy right now creating slang you've never dreamed of, and it's going to be so cool to say. And by the time people like me know it, it will be dead, and people will be moving on to something else.
It'll be dead in a McDonald's commercial.
Right. Like, I do remember, what was the thing? Oh, one day, I think I may have said this on the show before, but one day I realized how much I liked saying "you're a real one," or "she's a real one," or "he's a real one."
Okay, gotcha,
and I was like, "Oh wait, is this a dead thing to say now because I'm saying it?" I wondered, like, "Oh shit, am I too late to say you're a real one?" So. And then, but that night on Barry, what's the name of the bald Eastern European gangster?
Yeah.
He said "you're a real one" to somebody, and it was very much an obvious joke. And that's when and it's like I was like, "Yeah, it is." It's gone. It's like, because now it's the joke that this guy is saying it, but I can't remember that guy's name. Do you remember Steve? He played Metamorpho in.
I am. I'm like trying so hard to remember his name.
Metamorpho was such a good character. I don't know why it zoomed in so dramatically just there. But yes, I really enjoyed Metamorpho.
NoHo Hank was the character's name. Yeah. Anthony Carrigan.
NoHo. He got no. Damn, that's crazy.
But anyway, so we got You, Me, and Tuscany next week. That'll be good. I don't know how many rom-coms have we done. I mean, I'm trying to think of like, I don't think Rye Lane was anybody's pick for required viewing. Rye Lane. I don't know if that was a required viewing pick or not. That. But I do remember we all watched that one. So good. Yeah. A good well, I mean, it's like a good romantic comedy is good, but I mean, a good romantic comedy really is like.
It hits that Ramacus Comicus?
A good Ramacus Comicus really does hit the spot in a way, because it kind of gets past your defenses, and it's like so often it's about the charm of the actors more than anything else, you know, like that's the thing that'll carry you through, because they are formulaic. It is hard for anybody to find a really clever way around the formula of a Ramacus Comicus.
Yeah,
but it still works if you believe in love. Do you believe in love?
Yeah.
Do you believe in life after love?
Yeah, that's where I was going.
That's a good question.
Love.
I could feel. That's a great song, by the way.
Do you believe in love after love? Is that one of the big auto-tune songs? Or is that not the one?
It is.
Yeah. I thought so. Good old Cher. Cher, you don't need that auto-tune. That was the first song where people realized it's like a production technique, not necessarily just something to hide sour
for sure.
nose.
Okay.
Well, we
I
did
saw
it.
a movie.
What'd
Oh,
you
that's
say?
right. You did. You went to see a screening this week.
Yes, Is God Is. This is a newcomer, Alicia Harris, who is a playwright that won a um won a award for this play in 2016, and I think it'd been in production for a little bit. A company picked it up and adapted it into a full-on movie, and it stars Kara Young, Mallory Johnson, Vivica A. Fox, Sterling K. Brown, Janelle Monáe, Erica Alexander. Man, this thing is crazy.
Wow.
It is an insane movie. So it is. So if you can imagine, it has like a biscotti. Oh my god, I'm sounding like a little kid. It's a it's a spaghetti western meets like a Tarantino revenge movie meets Black Snake Moan. It is a weird fucking movie. So essentially, there's some twins that were burned as children in different places. So one is affected in the face, like very changed by the fire in the face. Another one has her arm and her hands are stuck together. Two of her fingers are stuck together.
Mm.
So they find out that this fire was set on their mother, who they think is dead. And they get a call from her in their adult lives. They go visit her, and she is destroyed by the fire, but is able to communicate. And she says, "I want you to kill your daddy for setting us on fire."
Wow.
And sends them on a mission. It feels very much like a Tarantino sort of feel to it. It is a cool fucking movie with its own voice. While I'm saying that it has a Tarantino feel to it, it has its own voice. It is very much a crowd pleaser. It is fun. It is everybody in the theater was screaming. It was like one of those movies.
That's
Every
cool.
character is very distinct, and it's interesting to see them go on this journey to seek revenge. And what the name Is God is based on the idea that one of the sisters, essentially because of the trauma, looks at their mom as God, because they're like, if God creates everything, we come from God. God is our mom. Our mom survived this fire. It's a cool homage to strong women, and this woman Alicia Harris is doing something that sounds like trauma porn on the surface. Like if you hear just the plot of it, sounds awful, right? Like you're like, oh, that's traumatic. But when you see it, it is irreverent. It's fun. You cheer people dying. It is a fun experience, man. And the fact that she is able to make violence this fun, and the message is subtle, believe it or not, in some of the things that they're saying about strength in the Black community, and some of the abuse that people have to endure, and the culture of abuse that exists within certain communities. And that's very relatable to everybody. And that's the cool part about movies like that, movies that kind of have this messaging, but also anybody can watch it and feel it, like
Right.
Sinners felt. Like it feels like special, like Sinners. It's a crowd pleaser, like Sinners. Um,
That's great.
Alicia Harris is one of those people I have to follow, and I've been championing this movie on my Instagram stories like crazy. Check out the trailer. It is out today. Support it. See it when you can. Tell people about it. See it in groups. It's just one of those movies that I'm hoping has some legs. So,
Yeah, it's funny that your description of the style, that's what I got from the trailer, was this kind of revenge, like like when you said the Tarantino thing, it almost felt like a riff on like a Grindhouse type movie or something like that. That felt very like, oh, this might be kind of, I don't know. There's a kind of movie that you can just feel the edginess of it, or you could feel the kind of like you feel a little danger coming from it, or a little like heat coming from it. That this trailer got me, especially seeing the burns, the aftermath of the what they were getting revenge for. Like that hit me really hard. Just the visual of that in the trailer, and I was like, oh, okay, this seems like a movie that's gonna go there. And I think that and to do that with still a sense of fun is. Yeah. I know sometimes you feel, I mean, I'm sure that all of us on this podcast at times are describing a movie to somebody that has horrible things happening in it, and you'll catch yourself saying, oh, it's pretty fun. And then you have to stop and go, I don't want to sound demented for saying this is a fun movie, but some movies manage to wear all that stuff on their sleeve in a way that is fun. Like you would say Sinners is a fun movie, and someone might say, you found that fun? How disrespectful to the themes. But I think it's like, no. I think that these directors are deliberately making these movies that are kind of like, thoughtful exploitation films or something. Yeah. And the definition of those movies is that they take you on a ride. So no, this movie looks great. I really wanted to make it out to the advanced screening. I was I was jealous, but I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Yeah, I love that name. Is God Is.
Is God Is. And it gives this cool perspective that we haven't seen about twins. And there's a lot of communication with no words in it, which is really fucking cool to see. So Sinners had one version of a twin relationship.
Oh, it didn't even occur to me the twin connection. You're right.
Yeah. So there's another aspect of the way that twins communicate in this one that is really powerful. That it's worth checking out. So
I definitely will.
Cool.
All right, Steve, you said you saw Hokum as well, right?
Yes, I did. I randomly went to a very late night screening of it one night this week. When
wow.
Yeah, Aaron was like, I'm going to bed early. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go check out a movie that I've been wanting to see. It's playing at, I think it was like 10 o'clock or something. It was late, 10:30. So I went and saw it. And I was surprised. It was pretty packed. It was like 20, 25 people in there.
Oh, wow.
For like a pretty late screening, but it was fun to watch it with a somewhat of an audience. But you saw it too, John?
Yeah. And folks, you probably know, if you're listening to this show, you've probably seen the trailers and the posters. It's the new movie starring Adam Scott and directed by Damian McCarthy. I guess written and directed by Damian McCarthy, who did Oddity and a movie called Caveat that I have not watched. But Oddity is one that I love. And I think that if you love Oddity, or if you liked the kind of scares that it offered, I think this movie, probably from the trailer on, had you hooked, because it feels like sort of an expansion of what he's doing in Oddity. It's a little bit more involved, and it's a little bit, you can feel the sort of upping of the production value to some extent. But yeah, I bet it was fun to see with the crowd. We had just a few people in our screening, and you still felt there were some moments that were good crowd moments. There's definitely a midsection in this movie, Steve, that is like one of the best like spook house sections I've ever seen in a movie. Like where someone's in an environment and they're like, I mean, he's sort of trapped in a haunted apartment of sorts, but it's like that whole, it's a real situation, but it's surreal enough too that it just feels like you start to feel the claustrophobia of it in the movie theater of like, man, this guy is trapped in this space that feels both real and unreal. And there's some amazing visuals and some, like one thing Damian McCarthy does well is like he does jump scares that are actually like solid nightmare fueled jump scares, not just oh, that surprised me because it was loud or whatever, but like a moment where something suddenly happens that really sticks with you. And some of even the imagery in the trailer that you're going to get when it pops up in the movie, it still shocks you. It still surprises you the way that he does it. And I think he does it by keeping you a little bit off balance with just the rhythm of the thing. Did you sense that, Steve, that it's like there's almost like a quirky rhythm to the story, and like so that you don't always know when a scare is coming. You don't have that sense of everything being like it's not like you're on a roller coaster ride and you sense the scare coming around the corner. Some of the scares really are like off-putting. I guess off-putting is the word I'm looking for. It's like off-putting in the best way is the way I would describe this movie.
Yeah, I think that the balance was really well handled. Like I think that I mean, I was trying to like think about this and like, a lot of these like modern horror movies and even coming from studios like this, there's a lot of like nothing happening kind of vibe in, when you watch a movie.
Yeah.
But I was actually really pleasantly surprised that like I feel like quite a bit is happening in this movie.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of plot points, happening that there's, a writer who's parents are gone and he goes to Ireland and they're at a hotel and they're having a Halloween festival and he meets a girl who's got a witch story and he hears a witch story and then he hears about like there's a lot going on where it's not a lot of just like wait around and see, and I think that I like that a lot about the movie. And also I just felt like Adam Scott's character and his performance was kind of great because it's like you don't really root for this guy very early on or even most of the way through this movie.
Yeah.
Because he's just like not a good guy.
No, he's so unpleasant.
He's so unpleasant.
To the point where it makes you uncomfortable to watch him. Like when he's being mean to the bellboy, it really feels mean. Like,
yes.
And like I love how the movie explains what's real, like when you understand what's really happening in that scene, like what he's intending to do in that scene, it makes his story of going, because he's going to the hotel, Ronald, where his parents honeymooned and his parents are gone and he's like going to scatter their ashes essentially. But you discover there's more to it than that. And like you don't know until later why he's being such a dick or why on this night he's not really worried about making any friends. But one thing that did crack me up, Steve, did you catch the way when he was scattering the ashes, he like lovingly scattered his mom's ashes, and then when he dumped his dad's ashes out, he did it without even looking at where they went.
I did.
So there's fun little hints of like what's going on in their past, but like, and it's like, it's almost a trite thing to say that a horror movie is about a character who has this trauma, but even that felt like it was an active part of the story in a way that it doesn't always feel like it. Like it wasn't just about the trauma that he had. It was like, it's directly, the place he's in is directly connected to his parents. Right. And there's something in this story of their past that might be directly connected to why he's in the situation that he's in. So it feels like, yeah, you're right. It's a lot of layers to add on top of what essentially the great pleasures of this are. Just often my favorite stuff in a haunted house story is the part where the hero is poking around with a lantern in his hand, like looking around the corners and stuff. And they manage to sustain that and give it a lot of narrative interest. And I think when you finally find out what's actually happening, Steve, like what the monster is kind of doing in this movie, that I think it's such a great, like,
oh, it's great.
Old school, like fairy tale horror almost in terms of like what's actually happening. Yeah,
I love it.
Like a folk tale kind of horror. And yeah, so yeah, no, it sounds like we both really dug it. And also just the atmosphere to spare. I mean, that's one thing at this point I'm excited about a Damian McCarthy movie because I feel like he's gonna take the time to draw you into the world that he's putting on screen.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot like there are like jump scares, but there's also just like dread and like real fear. Like there was like you were getting at earlier, like there's a couple sequences in the movie where it's just really well staged and it's very claustrophobic. And even when it's not claustrophobic, it feels like it. And like, a couple of moments where like I literally felt like I was kind of like putting my hands above my head like this because I didn't, you're just like, this is so uncomfortable, which is a very big success and win in my book, like to make me feel that way, like with as many of these kinds of movies that we watch. But I really dig the lore behind it. I dig that, like, even beyond the lore, there's like, that TV character that he's watching as a kid, and in that sequence is fucking frightening. And
that scene is like that's like anytime they manage to show you something that you feel like, oh, this is a television show made in hell somehow, like, or this is like something infernal that he's watching that is like.
Yes.
He's only watching this because he's fucked.
It's not looking good.
Did you notice that at the beginning when he's looking in the box of his parents' stuff, there's like a comic book in the box that has like a cartoon drawing of like that rabbit character that pops up later?
Yep.
So I mean it's full of little world building things like that I feel like there's stuff beneath the surface of this movie that I would get from on a second viewing.
Right.
But it's enough of a little mystery, Ronald, that it's not just a slow burn. And I think what Steve said before about stuff's actually happening in it. Like from the start, there's like a murder mystery that kicks in, and there's like the mystery of his parents and the mystery of the place, and somehow,
the witch.
and somehow it doesn't feel like too much. Like it's like there's one thing happening on top of another thing, and it actually works together nicely.
Yeah, I really liked it a lot, man. Like the more it sat with me and thinking about it and talking about it, I like that mystery element of it. I think is really what is propulsing like it kind of moves that movie forward so much, because that's the only that's the reason that he's there at that point.
Yeah,
there's not like his real reason for going there is so short lived, but then something happens and there's a mystery, and that's why he's there. Yeah. And I think that is what makes the movie work so well, is that like it makes sense that he would maybe want to stay even as a shitty person, because of the character that we're talking about, the other character.
Right. Like that.
But definitely, yeah. I mean, this is it's a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it a lot, and yeah, I kind of just dug how it ended too. I just thought it was really great.
Yeah. No, it's like it definitely has that like satisfying feeling at the ending.
Yes.
So. Well, so Ronald, we're saying check out Hokum.
That's good.
Check them, Hokum. Well, I'll mention another new horror movie that is out everywhere when this podcast comes out.
Yeah, and tell us about it.
We've talked about it a little bit on the show. I don't know if we talked about the trailer, but I know that you've mentioned it, Steve, or maybe we talked about it off mic. But
no, definitely.
If you know him from, and which I definitely knew him from his like internet videos. I had seen the internet videos that Curry Barker makes with his buddy Cooper Tomlinson, and I did not even know. I mean, it fits right in with the sketch comedian to horror pipeline that we've seen before with Zach Kreger and Jordan Peele. But so it's no surprise at this point that someone who's good at creating kind of uncomfortable comedy would be able to turn their attention towards horror. But what is interesting is what a hardworking director this guy seems to be. I mean, this movie's out. There's a movie that they've just finished shooting, which also has his comedy partner in it, and who has a role in this. But this movie is, you see the comedy underpinnings of it. There's some solid comedy sort of concepts, or like there's a sort of thread of humor, even if you're not laughing, but there are some chuckles, but there's a thread of humor and just kind of wink with the audience that we all know the same kind of frame of reference. Reminds me of the way Zach Kreger's movies, even though they're not comedies, when we talk about Barbarian and Weapons, they're not straight up comedies. They have there's a comedic sense to them, like a logic to them that feels very clever. And I think that Obsession, I mean, I don't know much about Curry Barker, but I'm going to look into it and check out an interview or two, because he's just, I was impressed at the filmic qualities of it. Like the storytelling is really good, and the acting is good, and the casting is amazing. The lead of, you could argue there's two leads in this, but I'm going to say her name. It's Inde, so Indy maybe, Indy Navarrete. Is the main character of this in a way. Her name's Nikki, and she's basically with a guy who she's kind of friend zoned him, but he doesn't quite realize it, and he wants her to fall for him, and he wishes on, that's the big leap of the movie. If you accept that a wish could work, and you accept this mechanism of the way this wish works, but he wishes for her to love him more than anything in the world. And the way that takes shape in the story, once that happens, it's like so sudden. Like it does not take that much time to kick in. And from that point on, like the hook of the trailer, maybe 10, 15 minutes into the movie, maybe 20 minutes, and you're there to the point where this is unusual. And it's like, it gets at so many little relationship things. It gets at like the danger of a crush, like how like we all have crushes, but we also know that a crush it can become a pretty toxic concept if you think about the fact that you're in love with someone because of this idea of them you've created in your head, and so you see that like his crush on her is kind of misguided, and that kind of is the root of all this. But also, there's no way he could know that this wish was going to actually happen. Like that's one of the, like I said, that's the big buy-in of the movie. If you can accept that he would make this wish and then that it would work, then the rest of it is really well observed stuff where it's like, if a wish is making her do something, then there's like, well, what's the real her wanting to do? Like, is there a person inside her that's the real her and there's a fake version of her that's sitting on top because of the wish? You find out so much more about that, and it's really scary and it's really sad, and issues of like consent come up in the movie because you're thinking about, well, wait a minute, if you've wished somebody to do something, then where is their consent? If it's magic or whatever this is that's making them do it. And she really plays the character, and I think the movie does a pretty good job of not making, she's like the clingy girlfriend who won't let him go, but like in the face of it, she seems like she's a girl who's going through something, and so people around them are like, she's clearly going through something, dude, why are you in a relationship with her? I mean, it's like there's so many little threads in the friend group, and you really do believe this group of friends is a group of friends. There's 4 kind of main characters that work together. And I don't want to say too much about it. The concept in the trailer and what I just delineated is pretty much what you need to know, and it's just well done. It's well acted. It's got a couple of moments. I saw it with my son, who's 18 and definitely in the age group of dating that this movie is depicting. And there were moments where I heard him go, oh God, oh man. Like it felt very real to him, just this whole thing of the confusion of, I really like this person, I'd do anything to be with this person, and then like, what's going on here? This person is like, there's like, it's a great example of a character who you sort of, kind of what you were saying about Adam Scott and Hokum, Steve, where like, he's kind of, you like him, he's a sweet guy, but his awkwardness makes you so uncomfortable because he never can just say what he's thinking, but you start to think like, why you're friends with this girl, why do you need to tell her that you're crushing on her? And because we find out she thinks of him like a brother, essentially. So it's like there's this thing of like, why would you want to make that person who feels that way about you into a person that you can date just because you think they're pretty? Do you know what I mean? Like it's a very, and I think we all do it. And so I think that part of it's relatable. And again, you don't blame the guy because they've made a wish, but the whole movie is sort of his doing. I don't know, and what happens to her, and the way that this wish is making her, like I said, into like a person who's like split in two, who's got like a real version and a version that's being manipulated by this wish. It's just really, and it perfectly pays off its concept. Like at the ending really pays off. There's like 2 or 3 little story points that are building throughout the movie, and it's one of those horror movies that ends with like a crazy scene that pays off the themes of the movie. So I think it's like a super satisfying thing, and it's like I'm very impressed actually at how well shaped the thing is. And mentioning like Zach Kreger, it's that similar thing of like, oh, this feels sort of like an elevated indie horror, or it's got the sensibility of a fun, quirky indie film, and it's like coursing through a legit horror premise with a couple of really good scares. There's one scene in particular that I think I'll be thinking about for a long time, just because it's so creepy. It's just creepy as hell. And yes, it is weird to me that the girl in the movie is named Nikki and my wife's name is Nikki. And the fact it's like, it happens with your own name sometimes where you just hear it too many times, but like you will find yourself I definitely think, I'm sure that Nikki would watch this movie and hope, like, I hope this is not like the name association people make with that name. But what else have you guys watched? Anything else? Anything on television?
Been catching up to The Boys.
Okay.
I mean, is there only one left?
Yeah, it was one left after this week, right?
So I guess after next week we'll talk more. But been watching was it Margot? It's Got Money Problems.
Mm-hmm.
How is it?
That's really good. Yeah.
I saw it got renewed for a second season already.
Yeah, Elle Fanning is really pretty great. And yeah, Widow's Bay is just amazing.
Isn't it?
It's just fucking great. Like,
and people are digging it too. I don't know if you've seen it all over your socials, but I've seen lots of people are watching this show. It's like one more show that Apple has that's like, okay,
so good.
They can do it. People do notice that these shows exist. We always say there's good shit on Apple that doesn't get celebrated, but at least Widow's Bay is getting a little.
Oh, it's great.
Little push. Isn't Matthew Rhys like unbelievably good in this thing?
I love him, man.
I do too.
He like first like when Perry Mason, he's got like this Apple streak. Like they just like him.
Oh, that was HBO.
No, that's HBO. That's right. No, that's HBO. But just like these recent shows that he's been on, like
they spent too much on it. That's what makes it feel like an Apple TV Plus show.
That's probably what it was. Yeah. But yeah, he's great. The whole cast is amazing. Like, what is it, Patty or Patricia? Like the whoever plays her.
Oh, Patricia. What is that actress's name? She is.
We
so
kept
good.
thinking that we knew her from something, but like Aaron kind of nailed it. She's like a mashup of Allison Brie.
Yes.
And Sally Hawkins. I was like, oh my god, it's like spot on.
It's
but I haven't seen her in anything.
Kate O'Flynn is her name.
Yeah, that's it.
She feels like a discovery. Yeah, that's for sure.
She's special, man. She's great in this show. Excuse me.
I love his son too. Like that part where he's like going to be staying with the old lady, and the son suddenly is okay with it. He's like, Dad, I don't want to go to Ruth's house. She's so old. And then he's like, no, you have to go. And he's like, okay. And then he says, wait, what are you concocting?
That was too easy.
But when I can remember doing that when I was a kid, when my parents would be like, maybe it wasn't as obvious as that, but I bet I was obvious too when I'd be like, yeah, okay, I see how I can play that to my advantage, because he basically realizes he can sneak out on Ruth because she doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And Ruth is a very funny old lady too, because she's half out to lunch and half like just a sweet old lady that like she's his assistant. What is she? She doesn't stay past 11.
Yeah.
And she never seems to know what's going on. She's always writing stuff down and not being able to read her own writing. So it's got a great sitcom like cast, but the harder shit is like legit. Like it's pulled off really nicely, isn't it? Like it's the perfect middle ground.
It's really great.
And how good was Tim Baltz in the second episode?
A moment, he's got a moment.
The hotel. Have you watched?
Did you watch
it yet,
all
Ron?
the way through?
Have I yet? No. We're about to finish it up like in the next couple of days, I think. Ronald, have you watched Widow's Bay yet?
No.
Oh, you need to, man.
I need to. I
implore
keeping
you.
up with the boys. I need to watch the boys and Invincible. Even though so much TV.
Yeah, it really is the age of too much good TV right now.
Yeah. But I'm on like episode 4 of I just finished episode 4 of The Boys. And it's good, man. I'm really into it.
I like it. I feel like people are down on this season for whatever reasons, but I feel like there's, sometimes with the final season, you have a lot of hope and expectations of what they might cover. And I think some things might feel rushed and some things might feel unnecessary, but I feel like they've been, I don't feel like it's slipped substantially the way that some people seem to think.
Nah, I'm loving it.
Yeah, tell those people to get off their high horses.
Well, or just accept that think what things are. They can only do so much,
Yeah, I feel like those were the kids that were like, when you used to play with toys, they'd be like, hey, I need you to put your toy on the top of that castle and then come down here and say, hey, guy, no, you can't control everything.
Right.
Just accept what the writers have written. Why the fuck do you want to control every piece? Oh, I thought it was... I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you thought it was going to be. What does it matter? What does it matter? That's why you watch things that you haven't created, so you can see what happens.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with it, I don't know. I tried to get tickets for the finale.
I did too.
At 40X. Jesus Christ. So nothing
fast.
but handicap seats.
Like, I didn't even see any local screen. Like, the closest one was like 35 miles away from me, and it was sold out or close to sold out. Like, I heard about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to get some tickets to this. And instantly it was sold out. It's like, damn, I thought I was acting fast, but I guess not fast enough.
They were only showing it in 40X. So, it's like the...
Yeah. I'm still surprised that Baltimore didn't have somebody showing.
I know. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, somebody. I'm going to keep checking and see if they do more. I mean, I feel like they should have seen that this thing was a big deal and maybe tried to do more, right? I feel like.
I'm a little surprised. Yeah. I mean, I when I saw the announcement, I really did think, oh, it'll be at Towson and White Marsh. Or I don't know. I just expected it would be one of those for one night. Why not? Why wouldn't it be available? I know a lot of people that watch that show. I feel like it's a kind of quietly popular show. If that's not a contradiction in terms, but you know what I mean. Like there's a lot of shows that you don't realize people watch, but then you find out that they do. Do you know what I mean? Like Severance is one of those shows that one day at work, a bunch of people started talking about it, and people that I work with that never admit to watching television were all talking about what a great show Severance was. And then I was like, oh, so they do have televisions. These artsy people. Anything else?
I think so. I haven't really. That's it for me. I do want to go out and see Obsession very bad.
That sounds
very
good.
much looking forward to it.
You sold it, man. That sounds really good.
And in a couple weeks, we get Backrooms too.
I know. I can't wait. Honestly, and I'm so impressed with 20-year-old dude behind that. I don't know. I hope the movie's as good as I want it to be. But even just the fact that he was able to pull that off and that it looks as good as it does. I've been sold on that liminal shit though since the first time. You know those videos, whoever made them, I don't know, but somebody was making these videos where it was like there's like water running through a place and you're kind of going down a slide, but it's like it's an indoor space. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was very much like the Backrooms kind of liminal video, but you're just moving through a weird space where suddenly there's like slides, and then there's like even like it looks like Backrooms, but like some of the rooms are decorated like, oh, this used to be the daycare at a mall, or like, but it's empty now. Like they're just specific weird things, but it was like around the time they started making that shit, and I've always found that like that evoking of the type of spaces you move through in your dreams. It's very eerie to me. It's very creepy. So I'm totally sold on that liminal concept. That I feel like
I've missed that whole thing. Like I'm not familiar with. I mean, I know I've heard about it, but like that term I've seen that term more in the last 2 weeks than I've ever knew it existed. Like what even it is. Like I don't know that.
I always used to say like I was creeped out by spaces, like spaces that people move through, but people aren't in them now. Like if you would see like a parking deck that had like a weird little lobby area with a bench. Sometimes I would walk past that and I would get like it would be eerie to me because it's like, oh, this is designed for people to be here, but there's nobody here right now.
Right,
and when you pass through it, you're passing through a space where hundreds or thousands of people have passed through it before, but you're not seeing them now. And it seems kind of lonely and weird that it's just lit all the time and it's just ready for somebody. Like bus stops can almost have that feeling sometimes if you drive past them at night. You're like, oh, look at that little lit area with a bench that's for people, but nobody's there. And then years later, I saw people posting pictures of that stuff, and they were calling it liminal spaces, And I think that's the correct term for like that kind of space in between. But the extension of that was then suddenly people were making these computer generated videos that are like just playing off of that idea of, when you've wandered around a space in your dreams and the space doesn't quite make sense and it's kind of like a mall, but it's kind of like it's empty, but it's closed, but it's not, but you're alone, but you're not, and it's like there's something about that I think really strikes a chord. And I wonder if it's because right now in our country, there's so many spaces that are like that. Like there's so many like creepy, empty office parks and malls and retail spaces that aren't being used. So it's like a weird concept that I think you can understand without really explaining it to yourself. Like, why is it kind of sad and creepy to see like an empty shopping center sitting there?
Yeah, I can't wait to see it though. Looks really good.
Same.
Excuse me.
Well, have we done it?
I think so.
Are you looking for something, Steve?
So. I'm just reading something about Obsession.
With the notion of obsession or the film?
No, I'm just trying to see what the show times were. No, I think that sounds like an episode. That feels good. So your pick again, Ronald, is what is it? You, Me, and Tuscany?
You, Me, and Tuscany.
You, Me, and Tuscany. Got it. Okay, I love it. I saw that pop up earlier, so I'm glad you picked it. Check it out.
A Romicus Comicus.
They
I
should
was
promote
watching.
them. They need to promote them that way.
They really should, man. I was watching. I'd been watching Spartacus, the revival of it on
Oh,
Stars.
how is the revival? That's such a strange concept.
It's so crazy, man. The guy that was in the show that died came back to life.
Asher,
And
right?
Asher,
Isn't it called House of Asher?
Yeah, and if he's redeemed, he has to change his life essentially. Lucy Lawless is in hell because she was such an evil character, but also kind of redeeming at the same time. And she's like, if I let you back on Earth, you have to, make a better life for yourself. So he gets his own house and he kind of works his way up. But they deal with a lot of racism. They're like, he's a Persian. Why the fuck would I help a Persian? He's dirty. He steals. He deals with a lot of racism. It's so strange. Like they see his face.
It's also interesting. It's like they must just like that actor because Asher, the character,
so good.
Was but where he went as a character in the original show,
he got really evil.
Was terrible. He was really one of the worst of the worst. Like super
they bring
evil.
it up quite a bit. Like because the things that he did are still there. Like leading to Spartacus dying and all the stuff's still there. But he's trying to redeem himself as a person. Julius Caesar is involved, and it gets pretty crazy.
Is the show still like a prestige show on cocaine like it was before? It is
still.
Okay.
But then they added a new thing, almost like a video game, ragdoll effects. So imagine all the violence that you normally see. But I think what they did was they're using real like practical effects for some of the violence. So where somebody will get hit, they'll switch to like a dummy, and that dummies will like bang his brain on something and swing around, and it looks nuts, man. So yeah, they added quite an element.
I mean, you're selling me on it, Ronald. Because I liked Spartacus. I understood why some people thought it was too much or whatever. But
it's fun.
At its best, I thought that show it really got me going when it was at its best. It was so crazy.
Jupiter's cock, man. Jupiter's cock. Every time, which is such a weird thing to say if you're frustrated with your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very fun show, man. It's
who
vulgar,
else is
lots
returning
of sex.
From the previous show? Oops.
Everybody else is dead.
Okay, so he's back in the world after the events of the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if he was like back in time or anything.
No. They like it. It's like as if
concept.
He didn't die. Like when he was murdered, they just bring him right back up from that point. And so many people have died that he is the only one left that can kind of uphold the house.
So Lucy Lawless is the only like returning cast member then that he.
And that's just for a brief second in hell.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there are some like people who are like on the outer portion that you may have seen in the previous season, like some of the royalty.
Right.
But that's really it. Like there's
nobody who's dead is back alive, is what you're saying.
No, I kind of wish that. Yeah.
I honestly thought it was like like a rewind, but it's not a rewind.
No. It's like they just continue from the point, which is kind of a cool ass idea. So maybe I did see something. That's Spartacus Limited Series. And there's this line that he delivers at the end of the show that chef's kiss. Crazy fucking show. Yeah. So if you think the fights were crazy before, there's women involved now. And then another element that I do not want to speak of that you have to see, but there's a woman that is in the new House of Asher. She's a black woman, and that's kind of the appeal. They're like, well, this house needs something exciting. And they're like, a woman. Okay, cool woman. And they're like, a black woman. Oh God, what the fuck is, and so the guys in the house treat her terribly because she's a woman, and they kind of ignore her race. Her race is very little of an issue for them.
Right.
But the fact that she's a woman, they basically double time whoop her ass because they don't think that she can do anything. But she's also an incredible fighter that comes from a tribe that was, warriors, and they kind of don't know this yet. But she's kind of frightened to let this show. It's a cool show, man.
No, it sounds fun.
Cool show.
I mean, it almost sounds like unhinged from the original one, which like.
Yeah.
It's a wild thing to bring it back. I mean, I guess they just realized we want to bring this world back, and we want to hook it into an actor that we know might carry people over or something. Because otherwise, why would you even need to bring back this character and give it this crazy supernatural concept?
It's like if Spartacus did a line of cocaine. If the show Spartacus did a line of cocaine,
the show that was already produced partially by cocaine,
already cocaine and sex filled, they're just like. Let's do more.
In the beginning of The Thing, when Kurt Russell is playing chess on the computer, chess or checkers, and must be chess, and he pours whiskey into the computer. They took the computer they were using to edit Spartacus, and they just poured a bunch of cocaine onto the computer. I also have always wondered, watching The Thing, do the other guys at the Arctic base, have they like gotten on to MacReady? It's like, don't ruin another computer by pouring whiskey on it just because it beat you at a game.
It's not how it works.
Yeah, we don't have that many computers up here.
Right. It's like, that's a crazy thing to do. Well, guys, this has been incredible, man.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We're back. We're back, baby.
We're back, and now we're gone, baby.
That good old Judge Dredd justice.
Make sure one thing. Movieshmovie.com is the website you can go to subscribe to the podcast. You could take a choice of all the popular platforms. You could also just listen to the podcast on the site. You can also go to youtube.com/movieshmovie podcast to subscribe. Audio, video, full podcast episodes, shorts, and Ronald's home cut.
Yeah, home cut. Have a new one coming, No Time to Die. The last of the Daniel Craig Bond movies that's coming very soon.
Do you have a date for it yet, or TBD?
No, it's we just recorded it. It's editor takes a while, unfortunately, but hopefully I'll have a date soon for them.
Awesome. So
I'm hoping next week.
Well, you'll see it if you just go to YouTube and subscribe. You'll get the alert. If you'll get subscription. You just
immediately.
Do that. It's the simplest thing to do.
Good to go. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week again. You, me, and Tuscany on PVOD. And we'll talk about it then. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you've made our day. Thanks.
Bye.